Before you can become rich in your wallet, you must first become rich in your mind. Money follows mindset, not the other way around. The way you think today will decide the life you live tomorrow. So let's talk about the one thing that separates the rich from the poor: your mindset. Mindset is the real wealth because it's the foundation on which every dream, every achievement, and every transformation is built. You can hand two people the same amount of money, the same resources, and the same opportunities, yet watch them produce entirely different results. Why? Because it's not the money in their hands that matters most, it's the mindset guiding their actions. The person with a limited way of thinking will find a way to lose it all, making excuses for why life is unfair. The one with a strong, growth-focused mindset will find a way to multiply it, learn from every setback, and build something even greater than they started with. Your thinking shapes your future because the mind is like the control center of your life. Every decision you make, from the risks you take to the habits you form, is born from your beliefs about what's possible. If you think small, you'll act small. If you think you can't, you won't even try. But if you believe in possibilities, if you believe you are capable of more, you'll start taking steps toward that vision, even when the road is uncertain. A person's bank account might reflect their current situation, but their mindset reveals where they're headed. The truth is, money without the right mindset is temporary. We've seen lottery winners become broke again within a few years, not because the money disappeared on its own, but because they never developed the habits, the vision, and the discipline to manage and grow it. On the other hand, many entrepreneurs started with nothing, no savings, no connections, no formal education, yet built empires because they had the mindset to keep going, keep learning, and keep believing when everyone else doubted them. A rich mindset doesn't just think about how to make money, it thinks about how to create value, solve problems, and serve others. It understands that wealth is the result of contribution, not just accumulation. It sees challenges as opportunities to grow, not as signs to stop. When a person with a rich mindset loses money, they don't lose hope. They see it as a temporary setback and focus on rebuilding. A poor mindset, however, tends to blame others, avoid risks, and cling to comfort, never realizing that true security comes from adaptability and skill, not from avoiding discomfort. Every great success story starts in the mind. Before a skyscraper is built, the blueprint exists in someone's imagination. Before a product changes the world, someone had the courage to think differently. Mindset is like the soil in which you plant your goals. If the soil is poor, full of doubt, fear, and negativity, nothing great will grow. But if the soil is rich with belief, discipline, and vision, your dreams will take root and flourish even in difficult conditions. Wealth is not just the money you count, it's the way you count on yourself. The right mindset pushes you to keep learning new skills, to manage your time wisely, and to focus on long-term rewards instead of instant gratification. It helps you see abundance instead of scarcity, possibilities instead of limitations. And here's the most important part. Your mindset is something you can change. You're not stuck with the beliefs you grew up with. You can train your mind to think bigger, to adapt faster, and to persevere longer than you ever thought possible. If you truly want to be rich, start by investing in your mind. Read books that challenge your thinking. Spend time with people who inspire you to grow. Replace "I can't" with "how can I?" The money, the opportunities, and the success will follow, but only if your mindset is ready to handle them. Because in the end, you don't become rich by the money in your pocket, you become rich by the mindset in your head. And once you master that, wealth in every form becomes inevitable. Long-term vision over short-term gains is one of the clearest dividing lines between a poor mindset and a rich mindset. A poor mindset is often driven by the desire for immediate comfort, the quick thrill, the instant reward, the easiest path that feels good right now but costs more in the future. It's the voice that says, "Why save? Why wait? I deserve this now," without considering how today's decisions will shape tomorrow's reality. In contrast, a rich mindset understands that the best rewards in life often require patience, discipline, and the ability to delay gratification. It's about seeing beyond the present moment and making choices today that serve your future self. The poor mindset is quick to trade future stability for present pleasure. It's the person who spends every paycheck the moment it arrives, who buys the newest gadget on credit, or who skips learning a new skill because watching another episode or scrolling social media feels easier. They think only in terms of days or weeks, rarely in years or decades. The rich mindset, however, looks far ahead. It asks, how will this choice affect me in 5 years? Will this make my life easier or harder in the long run? It's not about avoiding joy in the present, it's about ensuring that joy can last. When you have a long-term vision, you make sacrifices that may seem strange to people who live for the moment. You might pass on an expensive night out to put money into an investment. You might choose to spend your weekends learning a skill instead of just seeking entertainment. You might accept discomfort now, working long hours, living below your means, taking risks that don't pay off immediately, because you know that the payoff will be greater later. Think about a farmer planting seeds. A poor mindset wants to eat the seeds because they're hungry now. A rich mindset plants them, cares for them, and waits for the harvest, even if it means going without for a while. In life, your seeds are your time, money, energy, and opportunities. If you consume them all instantly, there's nothing left to grow. If you invest them, they multiply over time. This mindset difference shows up in health, relationships, and careers, not just money. Someone with a poor mindset might eat whatever tastes good now, ignoring the long-term effects on their health. Someone with a rich mindset chooses meals that fuel the body for years of strength and energy. In relationships, a poor mindset looks for excitement and attention without putting in effort for lasting connection, while a rich mindset invests in trust, communication, and growth with their partner. Long-term thinkers know that success compounds. Just like money in a savings account grows with interest, small daily actions build massive results over time. Reading for 30 minutes a day doesn't make you a genius overnight, but over years it transforms your knowledge. Saving a small portion of your income won't make you rich in a month, but in a decade it can give you freedom. The poor mindset gets impatient and quits before the results arrive. The rich mindset stays the course. Choosing long-term vision doesn't mean you never enjoy the present. It means you enjoy it responsibly, with awareness of how it fits into your bigger picture. It means you learn to distinguish between pleasure that fades quickly and investments that create lasting fulfillment. It means you trust the process even when you can't see the full outcome yet. The people who win in life are those who can give up a small pleasure today for a much greater reward tomorrow. The poor mindset asks, what feels good now? The rich mindset asks, what will feel good later because of what I choose now? One creates fleeting comfort, the other creates lasting wealth, health, and happiness. Your future is built by the vision you hold today, and the patience you have to let it grow. Start with what you have, because waiting for perfect conditions is the fastest way to waste years of your life. Many people have dreams to start a business, learn a skill, get fit, or improve their life, but they keep telling themselves, I'll start when I have more money, when I have more time, when I'm more ready. The truth is, that perfect moment they are waiting for never actually comes. Life is never perfectly aligned. There will always be something missing, something uncertain, or something that feels like a reason to delay. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is that successful people start anyway. When you begin with the resources you have right now, you tap into one of the most powerful forces for growth: resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is the ability to make the most out of what's in front of you, to find creative solutions, and to move forward even when the circumstances aren't ideal. Many of the world's greatest achievements began with far less than perfect conditions. Entrepreneurs started companies in garages. Writers created bestsellers on old typewriters. Musicians recorded hit songs in tiny bedrooms. The common factor wasn't having everything. It was starting with something and building from there. The poor mindset says, I can't start because I don't have enough. The rich mindset says, I'll start with what I do have and figure out the rest along the way. When you take that first step, you often discover that the path becomes clearer as you walk it. Opportunities, connections, and resources have a way of showing up for people who are already in motion. But if you stay still, nothing changes. Think about it. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you're not avoiding risk, you're avoiding progress. Every skill you admire in others was built by starting before they felt fully prepared. Every great business you know began as an imperfect first version. Starting small is not a weakness, it's a strength. It gives you the chance to learn, adapt, and improve while the stakes are lower. Starting with what you have also builds confidence. Every time you solve a problem with limited resources, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That belief in your own ability becomes more valuable than any external tool or advantage you could be given. You learn to trust yourself, and that trust makes you bolder in your actions. Too often, people confuse preparation with procrastination. They tell themselves they're getting ready, when in reality they're just avoiding the discomfort of starting. The truth is, you can't prepare for everything. The only way to truly be ready is to begin. Action teaches you faster than planning ever will. Even the smallest step today moves you closer to your goal. If you want to write a book, write a page. If you want to get healthy, take a walk. If you want to start a business, make your first sale, even if it's tiny. Don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. They are the seeds of greatness. Starting with what you have also sends a signal to yourself and the world that you're serious. It shows commitment, and commitment attracts support. People are more willing to help someone who is already making an effort than someone who is just talking about it. The people who create extraordinary lives aren't the ones who waited for perfect timing. They are the ones who took imperfect action and learned along the way. Conditions may never be perfect, but progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from motion. Use the tools you have, the knowledge you've gained so far, and the opportunities within reach. Start today, right where you are, with whatever you've got. Because momentum builds from movement, and the life you want begins the moment you stop waiting and start acting. Seeing problems as opportunities is one of the greatest differences between a rich mindset and a poor mindset. People with a poor mindset view every problem as an obstacle, something that blocks their way, drains their energy, and stops their progress. They spend more time complaining about the problem than thinking of ways to solve it. They talk about how unfair life is, how unlucky they are, and how things never go their way. This constant focus on the negative not only wastes valuable time but also blinds them to the possibilities hidden within the challenge. On the other hand, those with a rich mindset understand that problems are a natural part of life and business. They see every challenge as a puzzle to be solved, a chance to learn, and a stepping stone towards something greater. They know that some of the biggest opportunities come disguised as problems. When a person with a rich mindset faces a problem, their first question is not, "Why me?" but "What can I do about this?" This shift in thinking immediately opens the mind to solutions. Instead of feeling powerless, they take control. They understand that problems force you to think creatively, push you out of your comfort zone, and often lead you to discover new ideas, skills, and strategies that you would never have found otherwise. A broken system could lead to an invention. A financial loss could teach better money management. A failed project could open the door to a new, better direction. History is full of people who turned problems into life-changing opportunities. Many successful businesses were born out of frustration with a problem that no one else was solving. The rich mindset recognizes that where there is a problem, there is also demand, and where there is demand, there is potential profit. They do not run from challenges. They lean into them because they know that solving a problem not only helps them grow personally, but also creates value for others. And when you create value, wealth follows. Complaining, on the other hand, attracts nothing but more frustration. The energy you spend on pointing fingers, finding excuses, or talking about how bad things are could be invested in finding a way forward. The poor mindset falls into the trap of seeing themselves as victims of circumstances, believing they are powerless to change their reality. But the truth is, every great achievement begins with someone deciding to face a problem head-on instead of avoiding it. The moment you switch from complaint to curiosity, you begin to see solutions. Adopting a rich mindset means training yourself to pause when a problem arises and ask, "What is the opportunity here? What can I learn from this? How can I use this to my advantage?" It means being solution-oriented instead of problem-focused. It means understanding that life's difficulties are not roadblocks but detours that might lead you to a better path. Every problem you face is a test. It is an invitation to grow, to think bigger, and to prove your resilience. Those who succeed are not the ones who never face problems. They are the ones who face them with a mind ready to find the hidden opportunity. If you choose to look for the possibility inside the challenge, you will always move forward, no matter how difficult the situation may seem. The rich mindset thrives because it turns problems into stepping stones, while the poor mindset stays stuck because it sees problems as walls. In the end, how you see a problem will determine whether it becomes your downfall or your breakthrough. Failure is not the end of the road. It is a crucial part of the journey towards success. Every great inventor, leader, and visionary you've ever admired has faced moments of defeat. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck lies in perspective. A poor mindset sees failure as a signal to stop trying. A rich mindset, on the other hand, views it as valuable feedback, a lesson that sharpens skills, strengthens resilience, and brings them one step closer to the goal. When you reframe failure as a teacher rather than a punishment, you begin to embrace the process rather than fear it. The truth is, no one achieves greatness without stumbling along the way. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating a functional light bulb. Each failed attempt was not a wasted effort, but a necessary experiment that brought him closer to success. Failure strips away illusions, exposes weaknesses, and forces growth. Without it, you would remain in the comfort zone, repeating the same actions without evolving. Success demands that you push beyond your limits, and that push often comes with setbacks. When you fail, you have two choices: dwell on what went wrong or focus on what can be improved. Complaining or blaming others might ease your ego temporarily, but it does nothing to change your circumstances. Instead, you must analyze your missteps objectively. Ask yourself what went wrong. What could I have done differently? What can I apply next time? This mindset turns each setback into a personal growth plan. Over time, these small corrections add up to significant progress. Embracing failure also builds mental toughness. Every time you recover from a setback, you prove to yourself that you can endure, adapt, and continue moving forward. This self-belief becomes a powerful asset, because life will always throw unexpected challenges your way. The ability to stay calm, refocus, and try again separates the achievers from the quitters. You stop fearing obstacles because you've learned that they can be overcome. Moreover, failure humbles you. It reminds you that you are still a student in life, no matter how much you think you know. Humility keeps your mind open to learning from others and accepting new ideas. Many people with rigid egos resist change, and as a result, they repeat the same mistakes. Those who allow failure to teach them grow wiser and more adaptable with every challenge. It is also important to understand that failure is not permanent. A single loss does not define your future unless you choose to stop trying. History is filled with examples of individuals who endured repeated failures before achieving greatness. J.K. Rowling's manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected 12 times. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. These stories remind us that rejection and failure are temporary roadblocks, not final verdicts. The key is to keep moving forward. Treat every failure as a stepping stone that brings you closer to your vision. Celebrate the effort you put in, even if the outcome wasn't what you expected. Over time, you'll realize that the journey, the lessons, the resilience, the personal growth, is just as valuable as the destination. When you stop fearing failure, you unlock freedom. You become willing to take risks, to innovate, and to push past the limits that hold others back. This courage attracts opportunities that a fear-driven mindset could never access. The people who change the world are not those who avoid failure, but those who embrace it as an essential part of the process. Failure is not your enemy, it's your silent partner in success. Each setback is a reminder that you are in the arena, fighting for something bigger. If you learn, adapt, and keep going, every so-called failure becomes proof that you are on the path to something extraordinary. The only true failure is giving up. Everything else is progress in disguise. When you celebrate the success of others, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. A poor mindset feels threatened by someone else's achievement, thinking it means there's less opportunity for them. But in reality, life is not a zero-sum game. Someone else winning doesn't mean you're losing. It means possibilities exist for you too. When you genuinely admire and acknowledge another person's success, you open yourself to inspiration. You start to see what's possible, and you allow yourself to learn from their journey rather than resent it. That mindset shift alone can transform your own path, because it replaces jealousy with curiosity and competition with collaboration. The truth is, envy closes doors while admiration opens them. When you envy, you spend your mental energy focusing on why they don't deserve it or why you should have it instead. But when you admire, you focus on how they achieved it and how you can adopt some of their strategies for yourself. This is how successful people think. They look at the blueprint of someone else's victory and ask, what can I apply to my own life? Instead of wasting energy pulling others down, they use that energy to climb higher themselves. In many cases, successful people are willing to share their wisdom with those who approach them with respect and a willingness to learn. If you celebrate their win instead of competing in bitterness, you're more likely to build relationships that can help you grow. Opportunities often come through connections, and connections grow from mutual respect. By acknowledging someone else's hard work and discipline, you earn their respect too, and doors that were once closed may open simply because you positioned yourself as a supporter rather than a critic. Celebrating others also changes your emotional state. When you choose to be genuinely happy for someone, you train your mind to look for the good in situations. This builds gratitude, and gratitude is a magnet for more blessings. It's impossible to live in constant resentment and still expect good things to flow into your life. Your energy and attitude directly influence the kind of results you attract. People are drawn to positivity, and if you're someone who radiates support and encouragement, you naturally attract more alliances, more help, and more opportunities. Think about the people you admire most. They likely didn't get there by tearing others down. They got there by lifting themselves up, and often lifting others along the way. They understand that success multiplies when shared. In fact, one of the fastest ways to grow in any industry is to surround yourself with people who are ahead of you. If you resent them, you'll keep your distance, but if you celebrate them, you'll learn from them and grow faster. A rich mindset knows that today it might be their win, but tomorrow it could be yours. Every success story you see is proof that it can be done. And if it can be done by you. Instead of feeling left behind, feel encouraged that someone else's breakthrough is proof that breakthroughs are possible. Let their journey fuel your own instead of making you bitter. Celebrating others' success is not just about kindness, it's a strategic move for your own growth. It aligns you with abundance, opens doors to mentorship and opportunity, and keeps your focus on learning rather than complaining. The moment you stop seeing other people's success as a threat and start seeing it as an example, you free yourself to rise higher. The richer your mindset, the more you'll realize someone else's victory is not your loss. It's your reminder that your time is coming, and you should be ready when it does. At the heart of everything we've explored, one truth stands firm. Your mindset is the foundation of your destiny. Wealth, success, and fulfillment are not merely the result of circumstances, luck, or resources, but of the thoughts you choose to nurture and the beliefs you choose to live by. When you think long-term, start with what you have, see problems as opportunities, learn from failure, and celebrate the victories of others. You begin to step into a realm where growth becomes inevitable. A poor mindset will keep you trapped in excuses, fear, and envy, while a rich mindset will unlock doors you never imagined possible. The difference is not in your bank account, it's in your thinking. Shift your focus, invest in your mental wealth, and watch as life bends to the vision you hold. Your mind is your greatest asset. Protect it, grow it, and it will lead you to a future far richer than money alone ever could.